Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, a little cleanup from Monterey Car Week, including this particular machine. This is a 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO race car that was run in such famous events like the Targa Flory. In fact, this thing won it 2 years running. Even had the great American Phil Hill actually driving this machine in a practice session as well. This particular vehicle crossed the R.M. Sotheby's lot in their open auction for an eye-watering amount of money. The previous owner of this vehicle actually had a record for some time, paying $9 million for this particular machine back in the early 2000s. But since then, just over $10 million for a similar Ferrari 250 GTO, just such as this. They built a little over 30 of these machines. This particular vehicle sold last weekend in the old Monterey Car Week at R.M. Sotheby's auction for, get this, $48,405,000, which is by far a brand new record. In fact, the most ever for a vehicle ever in history. Now, this is all in. This is all the taxes and fees, because, you know, when the hammer price comes down, you still have to pay a pretty good chunk of change over the top of this. The more interesting thing is the previous owner of this machine actually was kind of using it. They actually put a 250 GT engine inside of it, run up to the specs like the GTO, and does have the factory engine, which does go along with it. But the question still remains, do you actually end up driving this thing if you're that brand new owner? The other trick of this deal is the sheer fact that this thing got to this kind of price because two people wanted this thing really bad. And not to say that this was hugely out of the questions, because R.M. Sotheby's auction catalog actually priced this vehicle between $40 and $60 million at a sale price, so they kind of nailed this particular deal. So it'd be real interesting to see if this vehicle actually crosses the block over the next several years, see how much this vehicle could appreciate, or has it hit its ceiling. Sticking with the prancing horse, Ferrari showing off the brand new 488 Pista Spider. You remember the Pista Coupe that they actually came out with earlier this year. It's the top of the tree when it comes to the 488 lineup. Coming again with the 3.9 liter twin turbocharged V8. This one making 710 horsepower and 568 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60 numbers and top speed numbers have not been officially released as of yet, but we're figuring it's going to be close to the coupe version at just a little under 3 seconds to 60 and over 200 miles an hour of top speed. Ferrari haven't announced official pricing or availability on this machine as of yet, so we'll definitely keep you in tune of what we hear. Another vehicle debuting at Monterey Car Week is an actual concept piece from the folks over at Mercedes. This is the EQ Silver Arrow. This harkening back to the W125 racer from back in the 30s. Now, this particular machine, completely carbon fiber monocoque along with a carbon fiber bodywork. It's a single-seater chassis with an 80 kilowatt lithium-ion battery electric setup with electric motor, making a total of 780 horsepower. The thing is pretty doggone breathtaking, even though I pretty much assume that this vehicle never see the light of day in production, nor will it ever see the light of day in some sort of limited production deal that may be off-highway use only. So we'll definitely keep you in tune of what we hear about this machine in the future. And last up on the list, let's talk about some serious horsepower. This particular lump going in the back of the brand new Hennessey F5. We've talked about this particular machine in the past, but didn't have official details on the engine. This vehicle, or at least the engine, actually debuted at Monterey Car Week, as the actual car itself actually debuted last year. This particular engine is an entirely in-house unit. This is not an LS engine like they were running in the last Hennessey supercar. This is supposedly an entire in-house unit from the folks over at Hennessey. It's 7.6 liters in displacement. It's a V8 engine with 9 and 3-to-1 compression, along with a dry sump system for the oiling system and 2 precision ball-bearing turbos spooling up 24 pounds of boost through this particular machine. Now, this particular vehicle makes 1,600 horsepower and 1,300 pounds-feet of torque. That will be able to run through in either a single clutch, 6-speed automatic transmission, or you can actually get this thing in a 6-speed manual, which seems to be quite insane. Boy, can you imagine spooling this thing up and dumping the clutch? Now, this again is going in the brand new Hennessey F5. This particular machine's only going to be 24 built, and supposedly 15 of them already been sold for a starting price of $1.6 million. And that's just a starting price. If you want to add on options, they have upwards of $600,000 worth of options that you can put on this particular machine. We'll know a whole lot more about when these vehicles are going to be finally getting into the hands of their new owners. Plus, also, Hennessey's already talking about this vehicle eclipsing the 300-mile-an-hour barrier for a production car. So we'll definitely keep you in tune with what we hear about that particular situation. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. Links down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time. Get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.